Welcome to Nautical Tales Nature Trails, recreation in southeastern Connecticut and southern Rhode Island. Will and I are pleased to announce today's destination, the Connecticut Audubon Society and the Tory Peterson Estuary Center in Old Lyme. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Bridget. Ahoy there, and welcome to Nautical Tales and Nature Trails, recreation in southeastern Connecticut and southern Rhode Island. I'm Will Morrissey, I'm your host, and Bridget, as you just heard, has a lot of experience driving up and down the coast, helping people finding their dream home, whether it's from Old Lyme to Charlestown, or she zigzags from Mystic to Mashantucket to Uncasville. She's all over the area, and she knows all the back roads because she doesn't like driving on I-95, but who does? But there's a lot of attractions for all of the people that are moving into the area, whether they're coming in and building submarines or the brave souls that drive the submarines. We got students coming into Yukon at Avery Point, Mitchell College, Connecticut College, got all the cadets at the United States Coast Guard Academy, plus all the visitors that are coming. And there's so many attractions, and we just thought there was a need to tell everybody what the attractions in the area are. And today, we're going to be talking about the Connecticut Audubon Society with Alicia Millardo, the director of the Tory Peterson Estuary Center. Welcome.
Hi, Will. Thanks. It's wonderful to be here. Really glad to sit and chat with you for a little bit.
Oh, great, Alicia. Can you tell us how you got involved with Connecticut Audubon Society?
Sure. Well, I grew up in Connecticut along the shoreline, and Long Island Sound and the Connecticut River, it's the best playground anybody could have. I've been fortunate to go fishing and just enjoying our beautiful beaches. I went to school to become a marine biologist. I've done some research, and my path just took me back here, and I've been in, marine science and ornithology for the past 6 years, and it's been terrific. Old Lyme is the home of the Tory Peterson Estuary Center, and we do the same thing. We're creating that magic for students to start and enjoy and be outdoors and learn about the environment and all the fun that southeastern Connecticut has.
Well, we can tell the folks a little bit about the history of the Connecticut Audubon Society if Bridget and Michael will bring up that first video for us.
Our mission and work. The Connecticut Audubon Society protects Connecticut's birds, other wildlife, and their habitats through conservation, education, and advocacy. We envision that our efforts will lead to a future where all can share and experience the joys of nature and understand the importance of environmental preservation. Founded in 1898, the Connecticut Audubon Society operates nature facilities in Fairfield, Milford, Pomfret, Hampton, Sherman, and Old Lyme, and in travel office in Essex. Connecticut Audubon manages 22 wildlife sanctuaries encompassing more than 3,400 acres of open space in Connecticut and educates over 100,000 children and adults annually. Connecticut Audubon is an independent organization, not affiliated with any national or governmental group. Connecticut Audubon Society's scientists, educators, citizen scientists, and volunteers work to preserve birds and their environments in Connecticut. Our work includes sanctuary management, advocacy, environmental education, and activities at our centers, scientific studies, and our annual Connecticut State of the Birds Report. In 2019, our State Board of Directors made a commitment to advancing the organization's diversity, equity, and inclusion with the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Connecticut Audubon Society is committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion practices in the organization at all levels. The Connecticut Audubon Society was founded in 1898 by a small group of women in the town of Fairfield, including Mabel Osgood Wright, a pioneer in the American conservation movement, Helen Glover, Theodora Wheeler, and Harriet Glover. You can read more details about the founding here. From the beginning, we have focused on conserving birds and their habitats in Connecticut through science-based education and advocacy. Connecticut Audubon Society created its first nature preserve in 1914 through the generosity of philanthropist Annie Bird Jennings of Fairfield. With that gift of 10 acres, Wright created Birdcraft Sanctuary, one of the first private songbird refuges in the country. Birdcraft was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1993. Connecticut Audubon centers and sanctuaries give us a presence throughout the state and across all of Connecticut's habitats. Since 1974, Connecticut Audubon has contributed to every major environmental initiative in Connecticut through our Hartford-based advocacy program.
Well, that's quite the mission that Connecticut Audubon Society has. I mean, you've got some work there and you've got some education going on.
We do. You know, we reach over 100,000 students across the state, and in Old Lyme, we reach over 7,000 students, children and adults, in all of our programs, ranging for students who are in the 2 or 3, all the way up to high school and college. We have internships for ornithology, for research, field research, and new this year, Will, I don't know if I've told you this, we are opening a Children's Innovation and Discovery Cottage Center in June. And it will have 2 indoor lab classrooms and 2 outdoor classrooms, organic gardens and fields and meadows for students to learn, enjoy, and explore.
Well, that's got to be exciting. You know, I did hear that you got a couple of grants recently that probably helping big time, but also that you'll be able to get some trails put in, you know, that lead down to the Lieutenant River. What your boundary is in Lieutenant River, which empties into the Connecticut River right after it goes past the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection Boating Division.
Correct. So we were really fortunate. We were just awarded these 2 grants. One is for sustainability and resiliency of our coastline, and the other is for a public walking trail for everyone to enjoy the different habitats that we have, look out over the Lieutenant River, just relax and enjoy the grounds, see some different birds. We've had great crested flycatchers. We've spotted over 122 different bird species over the past few years that we've owned the property, and that is more than a third of all the birds that have been seen in Connecticut. It's a great location to come, enjoy, learn, relax, and just take in nature.
Well, there's plenty of parking there. I've been there. I was mentioning to you beforehand that it used to be the Bee and Thistle Inn, and you know, that was quite the place to go to, and it still is quite the place to go to now, but with a whole different opportunity for folks.
It's true, it's true. It's a beloved location, and for those who have been there before, we are keeping that building looking the way it is on the inside. It is a historical building, and it works for us just the way it is. There are small renovations, but you know, it'll still look the way you remember it.
Now, we've had Dennis Main in from Avalonia Land Conservancy and a few other folks in, and it's, you know, their policy is carry out what you carry in, but I was looking at your website and I noticed that you really discourage anything with dogs or fires or, you know, that kind of thing. It's you can bring your camera and take some pictures and walk around, but you know, much more than that, you really don't want to disturb the habitat for the birds.
Correct. Like I said, we've got a lot of wildlife on our property, and we want people to be comfortable there, so we don't allow dogs, but we have new this year also, we have a story walk that's in partnership with the Phoebe Griffin Noyes Library in Old Lyme that's going up just this month, so you'll be able to enjoy a story as you walk our grounds and our trails. And we have a beautiful garden that's now a demonstration garden. It's been renovated and overhauled to have over 160 different native plant species on the property. So there's something for everyone to enjoy, from students, youth, all the way up to adults.
Is that an app that you play so that you can hear the story?
You read it. You read the boards as you walk through.
Okay.
So it's a really nice way to be outdoors and read.
Well, we can learn a little bit more about what's going on with the Connecticut Audubon Society. We have to learn a lot about science and nature at the Connecticut Audubon Society. So if Bridget and Michael can play the video for us, it'd be great.
Experiential learning in nature is exciting and makes it easier for students to understand science concepts that may be difficult to grasp in the classroom. While your students are in the field examining real-life phenomena, they are using math and literacy skills and various science technologies at the same time. And having so much fun while doing it, Connecticut Audubon Society's Science and Nature programs are designed for K-12 students and consist of hands-on, inquiry-based activities that relate to earth and life sciences, ecology, conservation, and civic engagement. Each program is aligned with the next generation science standards, as well as Common Core math and literacy standards. These programs are an invaluable resource for building student and teacher learning capacity by providing opportunities to enhance critical thinking skills, using and designing models, and developing evidence-based explanations of natural phenomena. Science in Nature has been peer-reviewed by an independent committee of education experts who have endorsed the program as an invaluable resource for building students and teachers' academic capacity. Science in Nature encompasses the tried-and-true programs that each of our centers has offered for years, combined with new full-day programs that cover new topics such as weather and climate, landforms, weathering, erosion, and deposition, adaptations, life cycles, wetland ecology, and more. Bring the excitement and learning of our Science in Nature programs to your classroom. These live, virtual programs meet the next generation science standards and are appropriate for students in kindergarten to 12th grade. The Tory Peterson Estuary Center provides curriculum-based nature programming to schools in southeastern Connecticut. For more information and/or to schedule a program, contact Heather Cordula.
Now that's very similar to what we heard from the Denison Pequot Seapost Nature Center, where they do classes. They just mentioned in the video that you do some classes.
We do. We do school programs at schools in their grounds. We do them at our program, at our site, as well in the sanctuary. And our programs are really hands-on. They're for students to learn and to do, and maybe even fail, and then figure out another way to get the answer that they need. This year we did a new program called Marine Debris, and it was funded through NOAA, and it was statewide. But in Old Lyme, we reached over 300 students where they not only learned about marine debris, they collected marine debris, and then they decided that they wanted to really make a difference, and they were able to reduce marine debris in their schools by putting in a water refillable station. So they could use water bottles over and over again and fill it right there in their school and eliminate plastic water bottles.
I also noticed in the video that you have a series for adults.
It's a terrific lecture series. If you haven't been, I highly encourage you to go. It's free for everyone. It starts this month on Thursday, April 18th, and it kicks off with a lecturer from Yukon Museum of Art about Rex Brasher. He was a bird artist, just didn't get the notoriety that maybe Tory Peterson and John James Audubon did, but his work is beautiful. So you'll hear all about it, and you'll get to see some of his work there. It's free, it's wonderful, and it's just another way to continue to learn.
Well, we've had some art talked about on this show with the Mystic Museum of Art. A lot of different companies have been through here, but we've been talking about Connecticut Audubon Society, and it's a statewide organization, started in Fairfield.
Correct.
But you've got different places. Do you work back and forth with the other locations, or is it, pretty much you're centered on what you're doing?
Absolutely, we work back and forth. We are one full team across the state. Our headquarters is in Fairfield, but there are 6 different regions and centers that you can visit. Some are in northwestern part of the state at our Deer Pond Farm location. Some are up in Pomfret, our Milford Coastal Center. We work really closely, and the program curriculum is the same across the state.
Well, you're here from Old Lyme, southeastern Connecticut. It's recreation, but you sent us a video about the estuary and what's going on and why it's so important for people to know what's going on and to try to help out. So if Michael and Bridget can run the video about the estuary, that'd be great.
Achieving excellence, protecting the Connecticut River Estuary, creating confidence, developing environmental leaders. That's what we do every day at Connecticut Audubon's Tory Peterson Estuary Center. The Connecticut River Estuary provides 70% of the fresh water entering Long Island Sound. Its tidal waters provide critical resting and feeding habitat to migrating shorebirds, waterfowl, and fish. But the quality and the communities of the estuary are at risk. Extreme storms are eroding our shorelines. Invasive plants are overtaking natives. If we don't reduce these impacts on our estuary, we will lose it. Teaching the next generation of future environmentalists is critical to saving it. Over the last 6 years, we've grown from teaching 35 elementary students to over 5,000 students annually. Our students, children to adults, come from all over southeastern Connecticut with diverse backgrounds, interests, and talents. Over 20% of our campers received full scholarship this summer. We invite you to join us. Every dollar donated will allow us to expand this work, to enable even more kids to experience, explore, and enjoy the natural world, and to protect our priceless home at the Connecticut River Estuary for generations to come.
I like that. I like that a lot. I was involved with the Connecticut Marine Trades Association for quite a few years. I was involved with the Department of Environmental Protection before it was Energy and Environmental Protection, so I'm dating myself a little bit there, but I know how important it is for clean water, you know, for boaters and everything, and just for people in general. But our May show leading into Safe Boating Week in the middle of May, we're having the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection come in and talk about the invasive plants that was mentioned in that video. Can you tell us a little bit about your program there?
Yeah, invasive plants, invasive water plants, submerged aquatic vegetation. It's a hot topic, and it's been happening for years. We actually redid a study that Juliana Barrett at UConn did 27 years ago. We redid it 6 years ago for 5 years, and what we found is now's the time to take action. It's here, it's aggressive. The hydrilla specifically, as you know, being a part of the boating world, it can get onto a prop and be moved from a northern spot down to the lower part of the river, and it's really overtaking all of the native plants. It's less nutritious for waterfowl. It's doing some damage, the water chestnut, the hydrilla. We're working really hard with many other organizations to pull it out at the right time so the seeds aren't able to grow, but it's an issue.
Yeah, the folks over at the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection are really looking forward to coming and explaining what they would like people to do. You know, when you're taking your boat out of the water, to make sure that you clean it off properly and make sure that you're not transporting these organisms like you were just saying. You know, there's a lot of things that the general public can do to help out.
Absolutely. It's easy to forget that you have to give, your whole boat a rinse, but it will make a big difference on the environment and the habitats that we have here.
That was a good video, though. I mean, I like seeing the overhead shot of the property. You know, people can see that it's right on the Lieutenant River, and you know, all the different programs that you have. We talked about classes. You know, you've got summer coming up pretty soon.
Sure do.
And you've got summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
We've got another little video to show about all the different camps that they run over at the Estuary Center. So Michael and Bridget, if you can run that for us, that'd be great. Now, it's located just north of I-95. I mean, you're only, what, a quarter mile, past the exit for westbound on 90, or southbound on 95. But it's really close by.
It's really easy to access, and it's a wonderful program. This summer we have spaces for over 200 students age 5 up to 15. There are some leadership program opportunities, and then your outdoor nature adventure programs, all different abilities.
Well, here's one that I thought everybody needs to know about. You have several different camps, but you got a bird camp.
We sure do. Our fantastic flyers. Isn't that so fun? They get to learn, figure out how to use a beak. What does it mean to fly? Bernoulli's principle. Do you remember Bernoulli's principle? Does that come back to you? Lift, drag, speed, force, all of that. And they're learning this, and they get to be engineers, and it's a great program. All different themes every week.
Yeah, and notice that, it's 5 to 7 or 8 to 10. You even have some that are a little older than that, but they're different camps, whether it's ecology or art or, learning about the estuary or just being a scientist.
Mm-hmm. We had a camper last year say to his Pop, Pop, as he said, Pop, Pop, you know, some days I'm too sick to go to school, but I'm not too sick to go to RTP.
That, I'm sure that quote gets used a lot.
I've never used it actually, but our summer program is a lot of fun. You know, we let kids be kids, get out and enjoy on the water, on land, learn about the birds, learn about the different, activities that they can do outside. Have fun.
What are your favorite camps?
Oh, I would say our art and science camp for sure. Students get to be creative, they get to be outdoors, they get to learn about the trees and the plants and how they go together, and then put it into this beautiful art that they get to take home and share with their families and friends and see their work for days and hours to come.
Now, I noticed that, the 5 to 7 and the 8 to 10-year-old range there, and then the 11 and 13, but you mentioned 2 to 3.
We do. With our new Children's Discovery and Innovation Center this summer, we will have spaces and programs for the younger toddlers and families to come and enjoy.
Oh, okay. It's coming this summer, so it's not on the website yet.
It's not up yet. No, they're still finishing putting in the windows.
Oh, nice. Real nice.
Yeah.
Well, there's always something that seems to be going on there, with the, that 125 years in existence.
Correct.
And always looking down the road to make things better for everybody. What is a project that people can get involved with?
So this year we're also launching our community science project, and we have about 5 different opportunities for community members to become involved with, whether you want to count and tag monarch butterflies, help determine what the population of horseshoe crabs are on our beaches here in southeastern Connecticut. We'll be partnering with Project Limulus, which will be tagging horseshoe crabs. Monarch Magic is one that we're working on to tag the monarch butterflies. We'll also be doing Odonata, which is about dragonflies and seeing what we have there. And one where kids can get involved in your free time in the evenings is counting how many fireflies you have in your backyard. We've seen a decline in fireflies from different pesticides and neonicotinoids being sprayed on grasses and different areas, that we've seen a decline in the population of them, and we want to see what's coming back. So always something happening.
Well, I noticed that also on the website, you just mentioned horseshoe crabs. You have something that's going on with Project Oceanology that we had here earlier in the year. I guess you work back and forth with several different outfits. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We do. We partner with a lot of other nonprofits because it's just, everybody's got a great strength. And particularly with Project Oceanology, we did a teacher training, and we'll continue to offer that both on their ship and on land for teachers to come out and see how they can fit our programming into their curriculum.
Yeah, we like, mentioning the different outfits that we've worked with, and enjoy hearing about the partnerships that you have. You mentioned that you have all the different places throughout the state of Connecticut that you operate, and I imagine there's a lot of different partnerships, not just Project O, down
Oh,
here.
absolutely. We work with Lyme Art Association, the Lyman Art Museum, Mystic Aquarium, Denison Pequot. We've also worked with Project O, the Connecticut National Estuarine Research Reserve, say that 3 times fast, Phoebe Griffin Noyes, High Hopes, gosh, the list goes on. We've been really fortunate to partner with a lot of our other nonprofits in the region.
Well, that's what this show and the book is all about, showing the recreation in southeastern Connecticut and southern Rhode Island. It's important that we get the news out to so many new people coming into the area. That even people that have been here a while are surprised sometimes at, what we bring up, and you've been at the facility since 2019.
Correct.
Like I said, I remember it as a really fancy restaurant, and a lot of people don't know because they don't drive by it every day like Bridget does. She's driving by everything, but they don't know what's out there, and what you can do, and there are, you saw the pictures at the beginning of the show, there are a lot of folks that are great at photography. We had a show earlier this year with a lot of the local birds between Weekapaug Pond over in Rhode Island over in Pawcatuck on the Pawcatuck River, and it's amazing how much fun people can have doing, taking a walk and taking pictures of wildlife.
We're really lucky. Southeastern Connecticut's so beautiful, as you obviously know. And we've been fortunate to have different photographers, whether it's a volunteer that we have or some of the folks that just come on our property and they want to visit the sanctuary and take pictures. We have a lot of land trusts and different trails that we can use. We do a lot of owl prowls in the winter on Lyme Land Trust and Old Lyme Land Trust and open space areas. There's a lot to find in southeastern Connecticut. I think you're right. We're really lucky.
I like that picture of the owl at the beginning,
Flying
because
in.
that's pretty much the mascot of Denison Pequot's Post Nature Center.
So
They
beautiful.
love owls over there, And as a matter of fact, they brought a live owl here for the show. We had a fox up here on the table, a stuffed fox, and but a live owl that flapped its wings a little bit, and
So
it was
beautiful.
great. Oh yeah, it was.
You should definitely come out on one of our owl prowls in January of next year.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun.
Now, do you do eagle counts too?
We do, absolutely. We do eagle. We have a great program called Osprey Nation, which is across the state, but right here in southeastern Connecticut, I think there's over 100 different osprey platforms, and we have a lot of osprey stewards that tell us when they've arrived. Are there chicks? Are there eggs? Are they fledging? What's going on with the osprey population here in southeastern Connecticut? So it's definitely something to look at and see the data.
Well, I remember back in the 70s, I worked at Hammonasset Beach State Park,
Oh, okay.
and there were no osprey. There were none,
DDT.
and that has changed quite a bit. You can see osprey all up and down the coast now, and the eagles have returned, and a lot of birds have returned. I mean, it's great, all the different organizations getting together and wanting to make sure that the environment is taken care of for future generations.
It's important. We just had a conference up at Trinity College about neonicotinoids, and it's similar, and some say even worse than DDT was in the 70s, and how it decimated the osprey population. And this is what's happening, and we're seeing it hurt the invertebrates in the rivers and streams, as well as the bird population. So it's important.
Well, these half hours always go by so quickly. Is there something you really want to tell all the folks before we have to sign off here?
Absolutely. I'd love to say, come on down. It's free. We're always there Monday through Saturday. Stop in, say hello. We have a beautiful gallery of original Roger Tory Peterson works of art, from his sketches that went into his guidebooks to his signed prints of these beautiful birds that he was able to sketch so wonderfully. Outdoors, we have a gorgeous sunken garden that you can enjoy a lunch, have a cup of coffee, and then our grounds, which you can walk and see the different habitats. So come on down, and thank you, Will, for letting us be here today. It's been wonderful.
Well, thank you for coming, Alicia. We really appreciate it. So that's so much for today's show. I just want to mention that the next show we do is going to be about the Earth Day Expo at the Groton Library. If you can bring up the image for that. It's coming up on Saturday, April 20th. It goes from 11 to 4, and it's at the Groton Library. That's not too far from where we're sitting right now. But again, thank you all for tuning in to Nautical Tales and Nature Trails. Bridget, if you can take us out, we'll see you next time.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels at Mystic 2 Westerly and at SECTV1. Please join our group on Facebook and like my Facebook page. Let me explain Mystic to Westerly to you. Mystic is actually part Groton and part Stonington. Stonington Borough and Pawcatuck are also part of Stonington. 2 towns, 2 states make one community. Watch Hill and Misquamicut Beach are part of Westerly. Connecticut Route 2 starts in Pawcatuck, goes through North Stonington, into Ledyard, and Preston, to Norwich. It goes across the river into Uncasville, and more of New London County on its way to Hartford. New London County is also home to Waterford, East Lyme, Niantic, and Old Lyme. Basically, we enjoy living in southeastern Connecticut and southern Rhode Island. Thank you for watching Nautical Tales and Nature Trails. We hope you enjoyed it.